Came out on April the 6th of 1978, and it was still cold that year, and it was frost on the ground and everything. I had never even spent a night in a tent.
Jonas Perkins spent his first night in Texas, cold, shivering, and in a tent very far away from home. Back in Chicago, Texas was a world away, a mythical place Jonas could only read about and imagine what it would be like to see the big skies and open land, to feel the Lone Star soil under his feet. But a dream can take you anywhere. And on a cold winter night, Jonas Perkins found himself alone in the middle of the Texas hill country.
I gave up a life, you know, with my mother and father and family in Chicago to follow a dream.
Jonas is casting a new life for himself in bronze. And in what better place than Texas? The figures and faces of the West that Jonas dreamed about are now the subjects of his art. He's also captured a few contemporary heroes and the attention of a lot of collectors. Jonas's work is showing up in the homes and offices of celebrities and governors. In fact, his sculpture of Martin Luther King now rests in the Oval Office in the White House. It's all happened so fast that Jonas has learned to expect the unusual, but he never anticipated a visit from these guys.
I like to do forgotten things or obscure things, you know, things that are looked over.
Even in your best textbooks in high school, they may have as many as 4 or 5 sentences pertaining to the Korean War. So this is partly why it is the Forgotten War. 3
forgotten warriors from a forgotten war. Al, Emilio, and Ronnie say the Korean War should be remembered, for they remember it well. They remember the 3 years of raging, non-stop, brutal fighting in the frigid, unbearable cold.
The wind was always blowing at least 20 miles an hour, and many times up to 40 or 50. And we always had cuts on our faces from the flying ice and such as that. We want the American public to realize and understand that there was a war in Korea. This is a 3-year period of history of the United States. This is part of our history. There were over 54,000 Americans killed in this war.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
All right.
Great, you're looking good.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Yeah, looking real sharp.
Today, battle-scarred and filled with memories, they have come to Jonas Perkins for help. They've come to share their feelings and emotions with a man they hope can capture in bronze the horrors that haunt their minds. They have presented Jonas Perkins with the biggest challenge of his life, to honor the soldiers of the Korean War with a monument in bronze.
It'll be 21 feet around, 7 feet tall at the bunker part of it, and they'll be up another 3 feet. Tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
When Emilio and I walked in there that first day, we said, Jonas, you got it. That's the perfect expression on that man's face. Wow. Hell, I think I met that guy once in Korea. Doesn't he look familiar, Emilio?
Yeah. This probably to date is the most important piece I've ever done.
Yes, sir. Jonas looking good.
Emilio had never talked about it much before. None of them really could talk about it. And then, like the first day we drove up here, all of a sudden, I was watching them when we were driving up here. They were back there in Korea. I could look in their eyes and see it, kind of relive, you know. And then they start talking about what would happen when Ho Chi Minh come down the trail. Ronnie Walliner. They put him on the dead pile twice, threw him on the dead pile. He was the last man to get on the last plane to leave there. I have a lot of responsibility to tell their story through their eyes of the sculpture, because they were witnessing the Grim Reaper harvesting souls. I have to put all of that into these eyes.
The spot in San Antonio awaits arrival of the larger-than-life soldiers, for after the smoke has cleared and the battles are over, this is all we have left of war. Monuments and memories of men who gave everything for a cause.
Yeah. Wow.
Those ruts are a little bit.
Oh, really? Are they really maneuverable, huh?
He's not only working with his hands, I believe he's working with his heart as well.
Yeah.
Friend, take care. God bless you.
Okay,
and we'll
thank
see
you.
later
Thank
on.
you very
Okay?
much.
Jonas Perkins came to Texas with little more than a tent and a talent for capturing life's moments in bronze. In a way, he was a secret hidden away in the hill country. But thanks to 3 old soldiers, San Antonio has a new monument. And Jonas Perkins has 3 friendships cast in bronze.
It makes me, feel humbled by this whole experience, working with them.
I do the best I can with what I got, and that's it.
Wow.
Okay.
That's a good attitude. Ronnie has a spirit that's an example to others.
4 days pretty soon because
They're the cream of the crop. God told them to go, they went. They didn't dodge no drafts, they dodged bullets.
Have some coffee next time.
Okay, I will.
I can't wait to see the look into Emilio's, Al's, and Ronnie's eyes the day that this piece is complete, to see that closure of that episode of their lives. It'll be an incredible day for me, too.
And of course, when that bronze goes on display, we'll want to be there too, to see the real end to this story. Thanks for joining us this week. I'm Bob Phillips. This is Texas Country Reporter. We'll see you next time.
Texas Country, brought to you by Dairy Queen, where Texas meets for treats and eats. And by Southwest Airlines. Flying the low-fare airline is just plain smart.